quite an interesting week and a new location, and of course, the noisiest man is back.
Yeah!
Why should you be noisy?
And of course, the beautiful ladies in the show. I'm your host, CEO Charles Etieno. And before we start, let's have everyone introduce themselves today.
Yes.
Dr. C is looking all yummy, all starstruck. Yeah?
Starstruck.
No, you have a starness about you.
Oh yeah,
Yes, go
we're
ahead.
at Orchid Lounge
Yes.
in the club.
You know?
You gotta represent Orchid Lounge. Yeah. Anyway, Dr. C, the winemaker, this festive season, make sure you have Samantha Wines on your table. It's a Kenyan brand.
Is it here?
Yeah, even it's at Orchid Lounge, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you're here, make sure you remember to order Samantha Wines. But actually, a lot of people are drinking at home. During a meal, Samantha Wines. We have an offer running, a festive offer at all the leading stores. Cheers.
Wanja?
Cheers. I'm also the newest consumer of Samantha Wines.
There you go.
My name is Wanja Mina. Let's keep it real.
Exactly. Maria.
And I am Maria Nyambane. I am so happy to be here. And I hear tomorrow is public transport day. I hope those who are walking are doing a good job in keeping fit.
Are you talking about us, the poor people?
Yeah, public transport.
Public transport.
Us,
What is that?
It's the poor people, us, the peasants.
They have a holiday actually.
Exactly. Well, I'm Simon
There's
says.
a holiday tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kenyan holiday.
Public transport day.
No, it's just
It's
a
not a
holiday.
holiday.
It's not a holiday.
It's
It's not a holiday, it's just honoring.
It's just a day.
Just a day.
Like the World Toilet
It's just like
Day.
Oh, the white
Berlin.
toilet day. Which
Dr.
happens to
C,
be-
today
The
we're
men's
actually
day.
honoring the Berlin Wall falling. Today. Today we are honoring the Berlin Wall.
Oh,
Today,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
So it's just a day.
That is
So
quite
clearly
So-
you can see Maria has accumulated so many extra facts that are completely unnecessary in your life. But indeed, we're going to keep it here. We're going to give you necessary information. Like, for example, in Equatorial Guinea. Guys, CEO! CEO, I'm going to tell us what's going
I
on.
don't want to talk about Engonga.
Yes.
But there is a phrase in Kenya,
Uh-huh.
Kugongewa, si mayai. Simon, your generation is...
Kugongewa is normal.
Eh?
Is-
Kugongewa.
nowadays, even- I'll be
But the
honest.
gentleman has
That's
gongead
not
400
true.
people.
No, yes, and that is actually, and that guy, hey,
Egonga.
Yes, Engonga.
Why does the name sound the same?
Balthasar.
Amegonga watu
Can
mia
we keep
nne.
it real?
Yes,
it.
What
keep
is
it.
this Kugongewa?
No, Kugongewa is someone stepping out of the normal context of the confines of their
Marriage.
relationship. Yes.
Yes.
And then now Kugongewa usually happens to the man.
Yes.
Because now I'm a Kugongewa.
Nasima
Now-
yai.
now, yeah, and that's what happens. And usually what I would say is, you see, this guy has been castigated a lot of times. People are saying, oh, all of this has happened. What I see is those are 400 women who have stepped out of their committed relationships.
And they're not looking for power or money.
They could
They're
be
looking
single.
for one thing.
No, they
It was
could be single, those women.
They were married, all of
I
them.
know I have a very different view on this. Everybody is just thinking, oh, this guy Anagonga, I actually think two things happened there.
Yes.
Number one, given his position, he must have been extorting these people. But primarily, I think this guy is mentally not okay. That level of promiscuity is a type of addiction. You know the way you get addicted to alcohol, you get addicted to many cigarettes, to many other
Shopping.
things. These having carnal knowledge with all these women, more than 400, even if it's extortion, I think he's not okay. It's a type of addiction. He's not mentally okay, and he needs to just check himself into a hospital and get treated. We talk of addictions, but there's different types, and this is just one of those. Either it's an addiction that is caused by a mental health something, especially maniac depressives. One of the symptoms could be like they get fights with everybody. Sexual promiscuity is one of the signs. Drug addiction, even alcohol. Yeah, it's a form of sickness.
CEO.
Yes.
You had a very interesting perspective. I'm going to give us that
You know,
perspective.
for me, I'm shocked that people are castigating Engonga and not 400 women who decided
Yes.
in their right mind,
Sober mind.
all of them are wives of who is who in the country. First of all, let's put
Where is
Equatorial
the who when
Guinea.
they were going there?
Let's put Equatorial Guinea in perspective.
Yes.
It's a population of 1.5 million.
Only.
The country of Equatorial Guinea, 1.5 million people. Only. This country, the 400 women are from upper class. They are the wives and the children of the richest people. Some of them have the biggest businesses in town. So they were not looking for money. They were not looking for power because surely the president's daughter is as powerful as anyone.
Exactly.
The minister for police is as powerful as all of them were powerful people. Even the man who came from Dubai back to Equatorial Guinea to confront the wife was asking the wife, you have 6 boutiques I've opened for you. We have 6 cars. You have 6 cars. Is nothing else that woman would have stepped out for.
Apart from?
You know what I know.
No.
And here's the thing. Even let me
I
add
have
on.
a different perspective
Yes.
on that.
Okay, I'll add on something later. Go ahead.
I have a different perspective on that.
Yeah.
The problem is, I'm going to, before I side with the women, first of all, let me be a humanitarian and say, I hope there was protection because
There was none.
STIs
No protection.
are very
No,
common.
zero.
And this is now how we cannot be normalizing spread of diseases, but that's not the point. The point is this man who comes and starts telling you, I have given you this, you have 5 boutiques. Who told this man the woman wanted the boutiques? So if he did his responsibilities and ensured that, understand, women are so empowered, they could look for their own money. Sometimes we don't need the money.
What do you
So that's
need?
what
So
you-
what do you
We
need?
need a gonga.
But even going further, because you see these women, some of them were in the confines of in the office.
Yes.
And something even we're discussing with CEO is that your ladies talk.
Yeah.
Your ladies talk when now the situation that's happening within the bedroom, how that actually is. And through those communication, ladies will now perk up and say, I also want to see whether what you say is actually true. And then now you go and actually now see for
Experience.
yourself. And then now that becomes a ripple effect. Because in all of these situations, do you know there's no lady who has ever said that they did not consent? None. All of
Because
them
they
have
know
been-
the recording is there.
Not even, yeah, well, I'm glad that's where the security aspect on that. Actually, because it's a high level, he's like the head of EACC there that
Yes.
we're discussing
Yeah.
with you, somewhat like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is your thoughts, Wanja?
Well, I think for me, I'll just say that the world has become a global village. And a small scandal in a country of 1.5 million people has become a global trend. In fact, rather than the US elections that interrupted how he was trending, Engonga and Equatorial Guinea were trending in all social medias at the top of the charts.
Yes.
For me, I think even though there has been conversations that that individual, maybe the ladies are senior government officials, I still feel like Engonga has a very senior position in the government,
Yes.
Director General. And whenever it comes to those issues of relationships, it has always been an issue of power imbalance. That's why even though in a workplace an intern can be 22, and who is an intern who is not a child, and then a senior boss is like really senior. If there is some sort of a relationship, one would easily say this one has power imbalance, this one has exploited their power. So for me, the fact that the ladies who are going to the office of that individual, that in itself shows a dynamic. The fact that that guy is really senior in an anti-corruption kind of an agency.
Financial.
Yeah, it seems he has a lot of files for individuals. So maybe akona kafile kako, anasema, wewe kwanza, you evaded tax, so hebu kuja kwanza tuongee hii maneno. So that for me was the essence. A director general of such a powerful body. That said, I didn't get the whole gist of recording.
Here's the thing. I have an issue with 1,
Yeah.
2, and 3.
Even we have
I
a
have a
serious
really
issue. Yeah.
Where is the accountability of the ladies
Women, yes, where is the
amongst you
accountability?
guys? Because even I'm shocked. No, that's something even I wanted to
Yeah.
listen and I wanted to hear you guys out.
There's no
How do you-
accountability.
No accountability
400.
whatsoever.
Okay, now
They're in marriages. They're in relationships. A man has actually gone off his way to even provide for his family. And there's none of you ladies who are actually even, especially you guys who are married, are even saying the sacredness of a relationship that you have gone out of your way,
Hey.
step into his office to go out there, pull down, and then actually now in Engonga. Now what is this?
And yeah, they know. And that's what that's the issue.
On, ladies?
Just for context, for the viewers, we are talking about this guy in Equatorial Guinea who had carnal knowledge of people's wives, people's daughters, about 400 of them. You know, some people may not have seen this story, so they're wondering, what are we talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Accountability of you ladies is very important.
You know, what shocks me is that all those women, none of them, and Wanja, it is not about investigations. If it was about investigations, the husbands are the people who they are more senior than him. We are talking about the Attorney General's wife.
Who is missing?
We are talking about the wife of the defense minister, the head of police. We are talking about the daughter, the sister of the president, and what? We are talking about who is
Senior
who.
people.
Yes,
There is
and
no
they are never
investigation.
available. The point is, they are also not
I just want
available.
to
Has any one of them complained?
Yes.
Who is complaining? Who are you asking?
Has
that?
any
The
one of
husband
them
or the wife?
complained?
Who are you asking?
The wives.
No.
None.
Then what's your problem with the wives?
They want to complain about the
But
lady. What's wrong with you guys not holding them accountable for their actions?
No,
And then
why?
You're quickly telling
It's
them.
their business.
No, you're quickly saying that the guy
My
has mental
problem
health
is that
issues.
it's been leaked.
The issue is Simon.
400 women and he's alone. He has mental health issues.
No, he doesn't. He's a fully functional grown man, and I wish to be him.
Yes,
But
but that is promiscuity.
Yes.
It's
But the issue
promiscuity
is
and
very
may
wrong.
not be okay.
What if the ladies were happy with the videos, but they were only happy if he's only the one with them? So the issue is not even the videos. The issue is that the videos came to the world.
Yes.
They just wanted him, Engonga, and the videos.
He would be at 500 right now.
But speaking about
you
even
interrupted everything.
So let's forget about
Let's
Engonga.
continue with these ladies, eh?
Go ahead.
We're not talking about these ladies who are seeking validation. I'm on a
Go ahead.
Tunaenda kwa Engonga.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
longer. So now, on a very sad note, Lucy Wangoi was buried yesterday,
Yes.
day after yesterday,
Yes, she did.
after she went for plastic surgery, and unfortunately she succumbed to complications. Mike Sanko was describing it. Atunaenda unaongezwa, for those of you who are wondering what's plastic surgery, we're trying to be real with the rest of Kenya. So, Kenya is not Nairobi. There could be people in the village watching there. Unaenda unaongezwa hii, wanatoa huku, ingine huku, wanatoa, yeah? Ndio, yani, unaenda surgery, yeah? You can add, unapunguza tumbo kama iko kubwa, you can reduce it, That's what we are talking about.
Yes,
and
yes.
she went, well, what procedure was
Liposuction
she doing?
360.
Liposuction.
She went to have this area reduced, yeah? And yeah, so this is what we are talking about. I have my views, but I wait for everyone to chime in. Because this is an issue that is very close to my heart. Let me just say first, it's very close to my heart.
Yes.
For those of you who actually watch reality shows, one of the issues that came out on the Real Housewives of Nairobi was the issue of body shaming, but also the issue of age shaming. So there's these people who go on to say, they're aging like fine wine. And in their world, aging like fine wine means like going to, even on record, to remove this part of the body to put it there. And I have no problem with that. Yeah? The problem is not realizing the platform you actually have and talking in a manner likely to suggest like you're a doctor and all these mushrooming aesthetic clinics.
Yeah.
The general public is not really aware that also it's aesthetics. So such influencer aliongeza hiyo, mwingine akaongeza hii, even me I want that. Yeah? And people are not differentiating. So who is a plastic surgeon? Who is a proper aesthetician? And what can they perform? You can go to some of these clinics. They inject you with Botox. You get muscle atrophy. You get anaphylactic shock. Is there a qualified medical doctor who can actually attend to you? And I just want to put clear water. So medical doctors, a plastic surgeon goes to medical school, they study 4 years. And then they do a specialization, they become surgeons, like general surgeons. And then after that, you subspecialize. Now the plastic surgeons now subspecialize in that. Like, those are almost like 10 years of being in school. Yeah? And then you have the dermatologists who go to school, they study general medicine. After that, they become dermatologists. And then now to become an aesthetic dermatologist, yeah, they don't do invasive surgeries, but they can do certain things to your skin. Okay. Kenyans don't seem to understand. There's so many aesthetic clinics. They call themselves clinics, and people don't understand the difference. People are not asking, where is your board registration? And I think I'm on record on that show asking this particular person, like, you're not registered by the board. So please don't say this particular doctor who's been in school for the last 10 years is your competitor. They're not your competitor. You're not a medical doctor. And then later on Twitter, people are attacking me. See what has happened?
I see what you're
Yes, my
saying.
case.
But there's a place for cosmetic surgery where it's actually necessary. For example, if you get into an accident and there's a big damage or something. That's in essence, I agree that yes, you want to adjust back to what you were because maybe you're a big scar or some other reconstructive surgery, just reconstruct some part of you that happened because of an incident that was beyond your means, or even something that might have happened, even some damage or anything, fire or what's reconstructive surgery that's common. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to the Botoxes, the liposuction, and all that, all the other things, even the BBLs, they're in Kenya, by the way. They are in Kenya, Kenyans. You can actually even get BBLs and other things. They're here in Kenya. You can actually even get them. The reason why all of these cosmetic things are mushrooming is because there's a heavy industry to dwell on people's insecurities. And they thrive off that. And the number one people who thrive off the insecurity of anything of how they look like is, of course, the ladies. Because the very thing that you're praised the most about is the very thing that you also have the biggest insecurities about. And that's why even you be criticized the most based on how you look. That's the very thing that you probably even seek to even correct, or even you're almost even more self-critical even by yourself. Sometimes even ladies are more self-critical about themselves than even the public, because even with us we don't see it. Then you're saying, oh yeah, there's this part of me that I did not see, now I'm seeing little things happening. People don't see it, but you do. So hence what will happen, people will always want to cater to a need. Now, when you go out and seek out people who are actually just doing cosmetic reconstructive surgery, be well aware, this is Kenya. People will always want to do the very thing, the shortcut way of now botching, even they can even botch your stomach in any way. All because you maybe did not see the need of following Maria and seeing her fitness workouts and seeing how you can actually even now lose that tummy the hard way. But in essence, you want to do it the quick fix way because you're like, hey, I do what Maria's doing in our YouTube channel. Yes. No, I would rather go quick one operation and get that over with. But there's this. You have to maintain it. That's the problem of now. There's always a procedure in this. You have to eat a certain way. You have to work out a certain way. You have to make sure that you maintain it. Because there are many surgeries that you have done. I want to lose my tummy. You lost your tummy, but what happened a year later? Why are you still eating the same way? Why are you still going out, why are you not working out? Because in essence, your body will still come back the same way if you do not take time to actually see how can I do this without any external people engaging, unless it's an accident or some other formidable force. What do you say, fitness guru, who's looking sharp in this blazer?
I feel like we are trying to treat our bodies like cars sometimes, whereby there's wear and tear of everything in life, and eventually we all succumb to living and then dying. But now the point comes in when your insecurities will push you into getting unprofessional help. Let me put it that way. Because scars define you. Like, so many scars you have define you. I will use the most common one, the scar of motherhood. Like that tummy where after you've had that baby.
You mean the CS?
Yes. It's not going anywhere. So if people embraced that more, like, yeah, I smile a lot. Look, I have smile lines. Like, if we embrace that more, maybe we can reduce the chances of us going for substandard work. Because at the end of the day, and I get it, social media is also playing a big part in ensuring that people are feeling insecure. Because if society is giving us a certain way to define what is beauty, we will consistently be looking to achieve that. But you should live in a manner that the society's idea of what is pretty is not what defines you. It's actually who you are as a person and what you decide to live with, because accept yourself first. Another thing is, like Dr. C was explaining, just try and go to a pro, like a professional with papers and everything. We are getting to a times whereby if I come to your clinic, I'll be like, show me your papers. I feel like we should get there. And where are you registered? I'll make that call. Because this is not like you're going to give me painkillers for my headache. No, this is you trying to change my body a certain way. So I'll have to do thorough investigation for me to get there. So if you can afford to go for that procedure, you can afford to pay extra to do an investigation of a person who is going to take care of your body. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be a story of this happened, that happened. And let me tell you something. Some of you who are doing those procedures, sorry to say this, you actually looked better before them.
Especially lip fillers. You look like little goldfish.
Wanja?
Whoa. Actually, I was watching the story of the lady, and even at the burial, you could tell that she's not a lady who is your average Kenyan woman, even by the speeches that by the politicians and the prominent Kenyans who went to the burial, which was really sad. But I think for women, in it about damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because there's another time I was in River Road. I had gone to buy a gift, a fabric for a friend who is not Kenyan. So there is a particular street somewhere near River Road where they sell skin lightening creams and those things. So me, I'm just walking, going to that Indian shop, and the lady is calling me, madam, ebu kuja, nataka kukupatia product flani. Me, I'm like, mi niko tu sawa. According to me, mi naona niko tu sawa. She was like, hapana, si ati nataka ukue mweupe, nataka utone. So I don't know toning inamaanisha nini, black ikue black more, what. But she was really convincing me. Remember, I don't have a problem with how I look, whether it's black or brown. Now, the same internet has shown women who are dark that you need to be light. There is always a lot of conversations around light skin, marangia thou. And then on the other hand, the women who are bleached, they are always shamed. Wewe msichana ameji-bleach. So it's like they are always in that situation. Mimi sijaji-bleach. So if you are dark, it's a problem. If you lighten yourself, it's still a problem. Probably that is reflected even in, if you are big, hey, na umead. If you become small, hey, si hatukuwa na tunyama. Yani, it's always, hey, for women, it is really never, if
you are never enough.
Yeah, if you give birth naturally, if you get a CS, haukuza naturally, yet the child is out. So for me, I really struggle with all those double standards. That said, these kind of cosmetic clinics, for me, I see the role of the regulator or the government agencies or the people. Because, like, for example, if today I wake up and I present myself to a chemist to buy painkillers, I don't have medical knowledge to know which one is the certified one, which one is not certified. After all, one painkiller looks white in my eyes. So who are the people who are supposed to regulate clinical facilities? Who are the government people who gave them a license to operate? Who regulates them? Dr. C, you have the medical background. You are telling us there's a difference between cosmetic and aesthetics. But for me, I think the lady just wanted her. I foresee like a strong relationship between the cosmetic aspect and the medical aspect, because they are saying, the spouse was saying that it's like her colon came out and even she was smelling bad, to mean that maybe there was something that interfered with the situation.
She was saying, he was saying that by the time he was saying by the time she came home, she was actually emitting some kind of a smell.
Yeah.
But the thing, what I want to say is that actually the women, number one, there's freedom. In this day and age, you do with your body what you want to do with it. It's your body, do what you want to do. But do some, even though the government is there, yes, to set the regulations, but you as a citizen, self-regulate.
Yeah.
If somebody is going to inject you, why would you let anyone inject you when you have not, anybody cutting up your tummy, that's a major surgery.
Yes.
Why would you do a major surgery without checking the credentials of this person, their experience.
See ya?
Anyway, I think you've captured it very well, but there's something I call it. There's the Big Bang Theory. In this country today, there's the Big Bang Theory.
Oh no.
The big Matako theory.
Nyash.
Yes. The problem we have in this country is this thing. And many girls are struggling to get it.
Yeah.
People are paying top dollar to either do that BBL. I call it the Big Bang Theory. Big Bang Theory.
Oh, that's what the BBL is.
It's Brazilian butt lift.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Is what's it called. But I call it the Big Bang Theory in Kenya. Because every woman in Nairobi wants it. It's a rich man's problem, by the way.
Sure.
Because there's one of them which is called, apart from liposuction, there's vaginoplastic, which is 500,000 to do. To work in your private part for a woman. 500,000.
Then on your wedding day, you just look like you've never known anyone.
Any man.
Yeah.
500,000.
My poor sons.
So, my problem with the whole of this issue is that Kenyans do not do research. In 2021, we had only 19 doctors who are registered to do all these kind of things. I don't know how many are they now, but it seems, and if you look at the current hospital does almost 350 per month of people. These clinics in Nairobi, they do between 30 to 50, every clinic, and we don't know where they are. So it is a big demand for cosmetic surgery in the country. So what is important is the government to look at these clinics clearly, because more Kenyans have money, more of our girls will definitely either do the BBLs, others will do the down there, others will do the hair, others will cut their tummies, others will try and do the legs. The leg has become a very big thing nowadays, where they want to increase the size of their legs to wear skirts.
You mean Ndumbu?
Indumbu, yes. It's a big issue.
Where I come from, we have Ndumbu already.
You have natural, but many girls are
I
going.
feel like everything they're going to add, I already have in excess.
So my problem is that if you look at the number of people who are going to these clinics, they are extremely many. They are very high. The doctors are few. So that gives a chance for
Extortion.
people who are not clearly qualified the way Dr. C is saying. Because remember, you have too many clients you can actually take care of. And like I think Lucy went into this place and they had very many clients on the line. So they did a shoddy job.
But let me ask something. Are men not the ones who are asking for those big bump theories?
Did you look at that man, the husband to Lucy, how he looks? He is least bothered. Mr. Nganga, he sells his cars in Valley Road.
And that's the point. It seems like
As men,
you compliment those bumps so much in this country that we have to look for them.
It
You
is
stop
the insecurity
complimenting
that
them.
has been planted
Yes.
in women.
Yes.
I've once said, the most criticized person or item in this world is a woman's body.
Yes.
It's the most criticized.
And that's
Simon,
why we are looking
surely.
for
Exactly.
bumps.
It's criticized and also praised. And on the other side of this break, we'll tell you more and we'll keep
Simon.
it real. We'll see you guys later.
And we are back. Karibuni sana. Part 1 was really fun, but also kulikuwa na mambo tu mengi, cosmetic surgery, Engonga, and then Maria, where are we going next?
Okay, so as the author of Marriage is a Scam, I've been given a reason to believe it is. Yes. So here's the deal. We know this is common in the Indian community, whereby arranged marriage is very common and normal. Do you guys believe that arranged marriage worked even better, or works even better if it happens in some communities today, which I know it does, than the marriage whereby you fall in love, you find someone, you fall in love, and then you start living together, then let's see, which one it looks more of a scam than the other?
As the unmarried man in this panel,
I did not expect that.
oh my goodness, Simon.
as the unmarried man in this panel, I would actually want to firmly say this. I have seen a lot of confusion and a lot of delusion because of what people are seeking when it comes to marriages. And because of that, there's all these stupid expectations when it comes to even a lady would expect, and at the same time, even the expectations sometimes even a man would have. And this is not even limited to only the younger ladies. Even the older ladies out there who have kids, but then they're divorced and everything, they also have a very limited, they have a very skewed perspective of how a relationship is actually meant to be. With that in mind, even when it comes to the place that maybe because of the delusion and the mental health that we need to have when it comes to even relationships, because we lose it altogether, maybe the logic aspect, which now, because now you remove the emotion aspect, because when it comes to now relationship, there has to be now work that is done. That work that is done is what a lot of people are not willing to actually do. And that work that is done is when now you remove the emotion and you have to now get down and dirty. In the essence, you have to put yourself in the mindset of, I as Simon, I as Stacy, I as Wanja, I as Dr. C, I have actually now played an active role for this relationship to actually work. Because of the delusion, that is what's leading to a lot of people now getting to weird relationships. That's now where maybe you need your own parents to now take a step in and actually now give you a go ahead and say, maybe Simon, no, Simon is a kafukusui. Get him out of here. Or Simon is actually someone, a man of honor, follow up with him. And I think this may be where you can interpret it in a modern context is, if you're a lady, have your uncle or an older dad to look at and see if Simon is worthy. If you're a man, make sure you take your girl in the context of your auntie or someone over your older sister. Try that. Get rid of all these delusions.
Let me say something before you say Wanja. Let me say something. First of all, the problem with us nowadays is we kiss 1,000 frogs. Like the saying, you must kiss 1,000 frogs. Yeah. Yes, we do it literally. That is the problem. When it was arranged traditionally, you knew one person. If this was meant for me, this is the one. So you knew that life or death, I'm going to just survive with you, learn with you, and love will grow. Now in this case, you are pointing, there is no perfect human being. At that time, you introduced one person, so you believe that this is the image of perfect. But now, you've seen, I have dated someone with good personality, I've dated someone with good smile, I've dated someone who can dress better, I've dated someone who is good in public, good communication. So you've dated people with all these aspects, but you cannot find those aspects in one person. So that's why when you see that nowadays, when you find that spouse at the end of the day, it will not be the whole package of what you've dated in one person. It will be, what am I willing to settle with? And like when it was, this is what I'm bringing to you. Whether you like this kind of communication and she doesn't even know a word in Kiswahili, that is the one you are taking. Whether she doesn't even have a hair all her life, she's looking that funny and she's never even brushes her teeth, and whichever the way she comes,
hey, run.
Take it. Because I went and looked for a woman for you, me as your parent, I saw the character. Okay, they always say they saw the character, but akifika woi. I saw the character, and this is what I'm giving you. So I feel like the fact that we are test driving so many cars, that's why we never settle with the one that we want. That is the problem. But again, marriage is a scam.
Hey, marriage is a scam, huh? Well, I think, you know, our parents, like in traditional African society, when you're wanatafuta spouses, they used to use very interesting criterions. They'd know Simon, the son of Nebuchadnezzar. The Mary, the daughter of Methuselah. In that family, there is a certain disease that afflicts all children. So don't marry that son because mtoto wako atakuwa na ugonjwa fulani. Do you see that boy? The dad was a well-known witchcraft practitioner, doctor. Usiwe msichana huko. And I feel it was some form of a social audit. Ati unaitwa nani? You know, it could even be is how we name ourselves. Unapata unaitwa nani? Otieno. Otieno babako alitwa nani? Ojoang. Ojoang babako alitwa nani? Oburu, Odinga. Okay, ikitamka hivi, they'll have a chain of how your family operates. And you know, back then there were those things of, na hiyo familia yao wasichana wa huko ni wako makelele. And you know, even we've had even in stories, hey, sijui wasichana wa which part of Central Kenya wanapiganga watu. So there is a whole perception. Wasichana sijui wa South where wako hivi. So I think it's more or less like how a belief and a way of life that in a repertoire so many times that inaka a truth. I still feel like even in modern day, however modern we say we are, bado tunafanyanga arranged marriage. In this way, nitakubuka na beste yangu fulani, kuna huyu boy fulani, ni mpoa tu na ako single. Si utakaje kwa hiyo party. So you have in a way arranged a meetup. Ama unasema, okay. And even on social media, there's this person, boom, tafuta social media, we chat na yeye, from there mtajua vile itaenda. So in a way we still arrange situations where people meet in a modern way assisted by technology. But then again, when all is said and done, I just feel like, you know, marriage is a choice and you should just marry the person you choose.
Dr. C, were you arranged? Were you arranged?
Well, I arranged it myself.
Hey!
I had a couple of things I was looking for. However, I really want to approach this argument on a very empirical level. Because I'm the scientist here.
Yeah.
Number one of the things I've actually learned as a vet, so the other day it was a mating season for the dogs. Let me tell you, creation is the most powerful force that exists.
Creation of the act?
The act of creation.
Okay.
Yeah? It is the most powerful in all, like the most powerful. Have you ever seen a dog on heat? It is powerful. The male dogs that will come, how is it related? It's related in the sense that scientifically it's been shown in most communities, animal communities. Humans are animals. Chimpanzees are animals. Copulation, yeah, romantic love lasts just until copulation happens.
And ends.
And it ends.
Yeah.
Because the men are wired to Engonga.
Yeah.
Like, spread
The Engonga.
their sperm as far as possible. This is the scientific explanation.
It is.
Once copulation happens, they move on. Now, when it comes to family and marriage, it takes much more than just copulation to keep a marriage and a family together. So therefore, arranged marriages, you look at many things that are meant to keep a marriage together. Whether it's someone brings for you or you're social auditing yourself, I like that. But also I think for young people today, I like what you said last week. The person you choose to marry, from a career point of view and the success of your life, they will really, really have a big influence. So whether you have to social audit, whether it is selected for you, think about that. I rest my case.
Okay.
I think you've captured it, but empirically what you've left out is that worldwide, more arranged marriages last longer than the meet-up marriages, especially in areas where you are probably arranged when you are younger and all that. And it's very easy because societal values are, when you're going to marry and it's arranged, it's about society. It's about who you relate to. It's about the uncles being there, the aunties. There's a bigger stake for family in that relationship. Rather than you meeting a girl and you're taking to the family members. They don't have stake in it. Remember, when you arrange a traditionally arranged marriage, it is the family who decides. They've scanned the environment and have said, Simon will marry from this family. They have a daughter who is, they know your temperament, first of all. They know your character. They know how you behave. They first of all look at all those aspects on their son and look at a girl who will complement that, the characters of this man. They do not just take you to a girl because you like. So they say, Simon is hardworking, is what. This is this girl, not this other girl. This is the perfect for this guy. And even the girl is told, the man we need you to have these qualities, and we know you. You are this kind of a woman. So when they come together, they will get along eventually, and they realize they complement each other. But remember, in the modern world, first of all, you're in a bar. We are in Orchid Lounge. A beautiful woman has passed. You hit on each other. It looks very good. She lies to you a few words. She tells you she lives where, the family is where. When you come to realize she doesn't even come from that space, but you're already deep into it. Some people get married and they don't even know where their girls came from. You've seen those things. The women they married and the men. There are men who are married, they've lived with a woman for 5 or 6 years. They've never gone to the woman's place. Yeah. There are people like that.
That is an ignorant man.
Even women,
That is
yes.
long-term dating.
You get children out of these women.
They are.
And I think even the women are careless. Out of
Yes.
sleep. Like, what?
Maybe
Like
that,
you're living with a man, he's your husband, and he's not talk to your mother or your
Yes,
father.
there are many.
That is-
maybe that man has another wife in the village.
Yeah.
You don't know.
And
these things.
Because one thing is, even I would say, is that through the marriage of like people wanting to get married through emotion, when you're making a very emotional decision,
Yes.
things can end up very catastrophic.
Yes.
And now, also, what you mentioned very interesting about arranged marriages, the people know you.
Yes.
Because when it comes to the emotional aspect that we have in modern day society,
Yes.
what happens is we tend to view ourselves a lot better
Yeah.
than we actually are,
Yeah.
and hence we think we actually now complement the other individual
Yeah.
when in fact you don't, because you have a wrong perception of yourself.
Yeah.
Well,
So that's why it's better to have arranged marriages, but it can't work in this society now.
Ah.
Right? Can never.
I would just say basic input, ask input from older generation.
Yeah.
Just that. That's very important.
Hizi ni
actually.
vichwa ngumu.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I think
Good. Data protection or
we go for another topic. Or
yeah,
we
go
leave?
ahead, data.
Data, by the
Yes,
way.
yeah. Tell me about the data.
So one of the biggest things in the country is that the police are really struggling with the issue of data, and many people are being kidnapped because the telcos seem to be giving the data of these people, where they are, what they are doing, and we've seen a lot of kidnappings. I mean the political kidnappings. I don't mean the other kidnappings. The other kidnappings, of course, these other thugs can go to school and get your contacts and all that, and they can still track you. But the question is, are the telcos giving data to police to track the protesters of people who are being kidnapped?
One thing I know when it comes to government will always overreach until the people push back to the extent that the government wants to hear. As we saw within the finance bill, that now people give pushback. It delayed, although now we see the finance bill coming back in another way. But the main thing is, government is like, I view government like a teenager. It will always push your buttons to see to what extent that they can be allowed to express their reach and express themselves, even express even their governance over you as an individual. And then the government will always give a reason why it's necessary for them to extend that reach, and they'll put it in the perspective of it's for your own good, it's for your safety. And that is what government will always do. That is the tendency in human nature all across many situations. And that's why even data, when it comes to it, what will government always say? We're doing this for the sake of national security or for the sake of public or security. We're doing this because for a bigger reason that's beyond you. Unless now the public comes back and really sees the necessity of that, the necessity of pushing back, government will always overreach for the sole purpose of acquiring their goal. That is always something that happens in every single government. That's why as a citizen of any nation, even Kenya, you always have to be alert as to what the government is seeking from you, from KRA to even data. That is a fact.
I feel like anytime people are giving the opportunity or chance to access data, it's not for someone's safety anymore. Because how do we know that there's control of, this information is going to help me in solving a crime or having to solve this issue? No, most of the time, it's for someone's own benefit. And how safe are we? For example, the police are not looking for me as Maria, but do I need them having my data? I don't even need them knowing anything about me, because at the end of the day, I need to be safe first. In as much as it's a double-edged sword whereby they actually cover it as security, but in real sense, it's actually a way of, it's a spyway. And a spyware is something that I wish, like, we are supposed to learn by now that if there's anything, it's like we are already risking. Anytime that we open our socials, anytime that we leave our number somewhere, it's already a risk. Now we are here trying to give access willingly, like you can have access to, no, it's not safe. It's actually not good. I would say that, and as much as the police looking for that, we've seen kidnappings happen, have they been solved? So what is the data for actually?
Well, I mean, there was a big expose about how the government is getting data from these telcos in one of the leading daily newspapers, and it was really concerning for me. But you know, with this age of internet and access and people looking for each other, I think for me first when I saw that story, I was like, thank God for the power of the media. I hope that the freedom of the media, nobody will come between us and the freedom of the media, because it took a media house to do bold investigations for us to get to know that. But separately, but also closely related, during elections, we have had instances where internet goes down in some countries. During the Gen Z protests around that time, one of the leading telcos in Kenya said that they are having a problem with their internet or something. Some people were very suspicious about that. We've had instances where there are algorithms, whereby if I Google, I want to buy a seat. How that data will move, I don't know, but every time I open my social media, I'm seeing photos of seats.
Yeah.
So there could be the police spying where they get our numbers, but there could also be the internet spying where if I talk about the weather and an umbrella, the next thing is that the marketers of umbrellas have gotten my information from a certain search engine, and now they're advertising on the other hand. But then again, you know, this is a characteristic of these authoritarian governments. They are really keen on suppressing dissent. So these are activists who say, well, let's occupy everywhere. They are always finding ways to get them. But you know, we have data privacy and data protection. It should be respected. No one should give my number unless it's really necessary. But when you go to even malls, everywhere, unaandika number, unaandika jina ya ID, unaandika jina yako. So you don't know where your phone number and ID ends up. So it's unfortunate, yeah.
How much privacy do you have, Dr. C?
On the issue of data privacy, what I want to say is that it's going to get worse. And that's why the issue of ethics across board, we really must respect it. That's why in countries like, in regions like Europe, the European Union, these companies are actually punished. Yeah, they are punished. And you know, like when you're browsing, you see the cookies, the what, they have very, very strict laws. But on the other hand, you know, when we have people like Sam Altman who can come here and start harvesting biological data from people's irises, and we don't see anything wrong with that, that is a problem. So it's going to get worse. So it calls for personal protection, being able to monitor yourself, being discreet, but also across board, demanding for ethics, like proper ethics. We really need to bring back public shame, what we talked about. Because you may be in charge of data today, so you are giving out that data. What makes you different from that person who plundered, I don't know how many billions, and went to sell something that belongs to the citizens? What makes you different? Is the same thing, ethics.
CEO?
I think our government has always been the biggest problem in all this, because our government does not treat our data carefully for a very long time. Be it from how we store our election material, it has to be stored somewhere in a different country, the way we allow people, the way Dr. Sia is saying, to come and do research with people's data. It is our government who have been doing this to the people. And now, we have a data protection unit which does not even know its role. And that's why you go to a mall, someone asks you, can you put your ID, your number, your ID, and he still retains your ID, which is nonsensical, because you can see in the world, even in schools, the thugs have gone to steal these books. And the people who try to con you, your child is sick, your mother is sick, They ask you, is this your ID number? Is this your bank number? Because they can go and search backwards and get, and they've really conned people. So I think the government must stand and have a proper policy to guide this data issue. Otherwise, we are just groping in the dark.
Yeah.
With that,
Yeah.
It's been real.
It's
been
been
real, and
Well,
Very real.
I know Kugongewa is real.
it happens.
Kugongewa is real. That's what I would tell you
that-
guys.
and that's this
And
person.
I want to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
just want to say we have an offer right now running with Samantha Wines. Rush and get yourself. And thank you for the support. Kenyans, you have to support each other.
Yeah, we have to.
And remember, you can actually take some Samantha Wines right here at Orchard Lounge, Gong Road. That's where we are here today. So if you're wondering where we are, that's where we are. Orchid or Orchid? What did I say? We're not kidding. We are gone.
Samantha Wines, now available in all the leading wine stores.